Hi everyone and welcome to your half an hour fluid vinyasa flow class with me, Rosie. If you haven't flown with me before, welcome, and I really hope you enjoy this flow. I post content quite regularly, so feel free to check out everything in the description and all of my other videos and maybe subscribe for some new content. We're going to start today's class in kneeling position. So if you're practicing on a mat, coming towards the back of your mat. An option here to either just come down into kneeling if it feels comfortable, or to take a block underneath your seats to just give you a little bit of extra lift. When you get here, closing down through those eyes and taking a big roll of those shoulders. So taking the shoulders up towards ears, really scrunching up, and then as you exhale, rolling them down the back. Just imagining those shoulder blades moving down. Maybe you take a few. Next time your shoulders drop down, just allowing the hands to fall where it feels comfortable. So maybe their palms facing down on the thighs, grounding down into the earth. Maybe their palms facing up, that sign of surrender. So wherever they are, just allow them to go where is comfortable. And take a second here. Asking yourself, how is my breath today? What does my breath feel like? And how does my body feel today? So check in. Maybe that inhale and exhale is fast today, maybe it's slow. Just welcoming it in exactly how it is. So there's no pressure here. Accepting the body exactly how it comes to the mat. Keeping with that breath. Might be that the gaze here, the drishti, is straight forwards, or maybe you drop that chin down to the chest, maybe that feels nice. When you're ready, starting to welcome in some gentle movements. So as you inhale, taking right ear towards right shoulder, so we're rolling through the neck. As you exhale, drawing chin back down to the chest, through the center. As you inhale, other side, left ear to left shoulder, roll up. Exhale, back through center. So keeping going with this movement, moving side to side. Seeing if you can just link the movement in with the breath. So that's what our vinyasa is, that placement of the body or movement with the body in time with the breath. Finding that fluidity, and that's how we're going to be practicing today. It might be that you open through the throat, take the head the entire way around now if that feels nice, taking a full circle with the neck. If you go one way, just pausing as you come back through center and then changing, going the other way. Next time you come back through center, just taking a nice big inhale through the nose. Exhaling out through the mouth. Releasing breath, sighing it all out. And then gently starting to flutter open those eyes. Taking right fingertips down to the sides. It might be that you come onto the fingertips. As we inhale, we're going to stretch left arm up and over, so coming into a side stretch. You might stay on those fingertips, right arm staying nice and straight. You might come down onto the hand, drop down, slightly soften through the right arm, your choice. Gaze up towards the left hand. So feel that opening through the left side body. Next inhale that you find moving over. So sweeping that hand down as we inhale, drawing right arm up. Taking the gaze up to the right arm this time. Opening through that side body. Inhale here, draw back through center. And then just take those knees wide. And with those knees wide, we're going to take right hand down behind us, fingertips finding the floor, finding the earth. And as we inhale, left arm is going to sweep up. We're going to lift the hips and reach here long, taking that gaze up towards the hand. As we exhale, that left hand is going to start to sweep back down. Left hand is going to ground. As we inhale, right arm sweeps up, we lift through the hips. So moving side to side, again linking that breath to movement. starting to come back round, finding the other side. And this movement can be as fast or as slow as you like, as fast or as slow as the breath is. So maybe you're moving a little bit faster, maybe a little bit slower than me. Just check in. Maybe you decide to lift up, and as the hips lift, you just take a pause here. So you take an extra breath, just holding. Exhale, sweep round. Finding the other side, making it intuitive. When you're ready, back through center. And just removing the blocks, props, if you've got them. Taking those knees back together. We're going to start to warm that body up, finding some heat. So as we inhale, those arms are going to reach up towards the sky. Exhale, palms together, Anjali Mudra, draw them down through heart center. Next inhale, we're going to sweep up again, come up to high kneeling, gaze again towards the hands. Exhale, we sweep those hands behind us, taking palms towards the sky, forehead coming down towards the mats, child's pose. Next inhale that we find, fingertips, arms start to reach forwards, we lift the head and we roll the body almost like a wave down onto the belly. Exhale here. As we inhale, lift head, lift chest, baby cobra, maybe those hands come off the mats. Exhale, hands come down, we tuck under toes, roll the hips up and back, taking a downward facing dog. First one of the practice, so take whatever you need here. Maybe it's a pedal out through the feet, maybe a pedal out through the elbows, whatever it is, take a pause. Ask yourself here, what would feel nourishing for my body? Ask yourself that question and then respond through the movements. It might be that instead of movement, stillness feels nice. If it does, feel free to take it. You know what the body needs best. As we inhale, rolling forwards, we're going to drop the knees, untuck the toes, come to a tabletop position. Take a second here to find neutral. Maybe you pick up those hands, placing them back down, finding the mat grounding. As we inhale, we're going to drop the belly and start to lift the chest, taking that gaze forwards. As we exhale, we round through the back, through the spine, drop the head down. 2 more of these. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, round. Inhale, find that space for the chest. Exhale, round. Inhale, back to neutral. Tuck under those toes, lift the hips up and back again. Downward facing dog. Taking a pause here, patting out through those feet. And we're going to take some spinal rolls. So as we inhale, we're going to roll the body forwards, almost as if towards plank. Exhale, drop the knees, push it back. Few more of these. Taking them as slow or as fast as you need. Pushing down through toes, through fingertips. And linking in with that breath. So if you find the mind wandering, using it, inhale, we roll forwards. Exhale, we push back. Next inhale, dropping those knees down again. Untucking toes. And this time we have the option to come back to that cat-cow. So as we inhale, lifting the chest, lifting the head. As we exhale, rounding. Or maybe your movement here starts to get a little more intuitive. So maybe we start to find circles here. Dropping back as if we're coming through a child's pose. You're taking these circles, going both ways. Maybe you start to move through the head, through the neck. And maybe this movement stays super, super small. Might just be stillness, coming back into a child's pose. Or maybe it starts to get bigger, it starts to grow. That breath powering you through that movement. And you can close your eyes here. So often when we have these seconds to go where we want to with that movement, we can feel a little bit stiff, a little bit like we don't know where we're going. So allow yourself to close down through some of the senses. Close the eyes. Drop away from how it looks. And just allow yourself to soak in the feeling. So how does it feel here? When we're ready, we're going to tuck under those toes again and come back to that down dog. Breathe here, take a pause. We're going to push down through that left foot. And as we inhale, the right foot sweeps up behind us, three-legged dog. Keeping shoulders, hips nice and square for just a second. Pausing with that breath. And then option to bend through that right knee. And rotate, so open that right knee out towards the side, open through the hip. Seeing if you can keep the hands, the shoulders exactly where they are. One more inhale here. Exhale, we draw that right foot forwards in between the two hands. Ground the back foot at an angle. And as we inhale, the arms reach up, we find our warrior one. Reaching tall here. So we want to plant down through the feet. That right foot might step out slightly, so you give your hips more space, hips facing forwards, arms reaching. Planting through the feet, rising through the upper body. So instead of scrunching those arms up, just see if you can release shoulders, release upper body, and lift through those fingertips. Grounding and rising at the same time. Warrior one. Inhale here. As we exhale, right arm goes forward, left arm comes back. The hips rotate out to the side. We open out, warrior two. That back foot might rotate out as well. And we're going to fly that warrior. So we flip that right palm up. As we inhale, we're going to straighten through the right leg. Take that gaze up towards the hands. As we exhale, bend through that right leg again. Open out, warrior two. Two more of these. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, release. Inhale, we're going to straighten through that right leg. And we're going to reach that right arm forwards. Really reaching. Exhale, right hand is going to come down towards the inside of the right foot. You might stay up on the fingertips here. You might take hand to the ankle, to the calf. You might even use a block. We take that gaze up towards the left hand, Utthita Trikonasana. Staying with that breath here. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we start to draw that left hand forwards. As it draws forwards, we start to pivot the feet round. We turn towards the side of our mats. Feet maybe come a little bit wider if that feels nice. We come into our Prasarita Padultanasana. And from here, we're just going to undulate. So as we inhale, we lift. Straight backs, come onto fingertips. Exhale, release down. Feel that breath moving the body. Inhale, we draw up. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, straight backs. Exhale, take it down. And then option here to either walk those hands towards you, so taking wrists in line with the soles of the foot if that feels good. Or maybe you walk fingertips forwards, so coming almost into a forward fold. And then when the fingertips are as far forwards as they can go, you just release that head, release any tension through the neck. Keep the knees soft here, so you can take a nice gentle bend through the knees if that feels good. Staying with the breath. Wherever the hands are, if they're behind, walking them forward slightly. If they're in front, walking them back. We're going to take that right foot, face it towards the tops of the mat, turn round, frame the foot, step right foot back so you're in that high plank, and we're going to come through our vinyasa. So either dropping down to knees and chest or taking your chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here in your down dog if that feels nice. Option to come through a few more of those spinal rolls, rolling forwards. Or option to take those knees down, untuck toes, come to your child's pose. Wherever you choose, taking a couple of long breaths here. Breathing in and out. In yoga, we have this idea of sthira and sukha. So, effort and ease ebb and flow within the practice. So after taking those moments of effort where we're working, engaging, we then take these moments of ease as well. Wherever you are, coming back to the down dog. If you're in that child's pose, gently easing out, calming back. And we will come to work on the opposite side. So that right foot is grounding down as we inhale, left lifts up. Straight-legged dog to start off with, three-legged dog. So keeping hips square, shoulders square. Option to stay here, or you bend through that left knee. Rotate left knee out to the side, keeping shoulders exactly where they are, but opening through that hip. One big inhale here. Exhale, we start to draw the left foot forwards in between the hands. We ground that back foot, keeping a bend through the front knee. As we inhale, draw the arms up, warrior one. Again, finding that lift. Planting, grounding through the feet, lifting through fingertips, finding space for the shoulders. Uddiyana Bandha, core engaged. Inhale, here we lift up. Exhale, we open out. Left arm goes forwards, right arm goes back, hips open out to the side. We flip those palms up. And as we inhale, draw them together, straighten the front leg. Exhale, release out, flying that warrior. 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Next inhale, we straighten that front leg. Take an exhale. And then we reach on the inhale, left arm forwards. Exhale, take left arm down. Inside of the foot, shin, calf, maybe onto a block. That gaze goes up towards the right hand, Utthita Trikonasana. Stay with the breath here. Feeling that lengthening through the fingertips. Next, inhale, we draw that right arm round towards the front of the mat as if we're drawing a circle. And we allow that movement to pivot both of the feet towards the side of the mat. Maybe we step the feet out a little bit wider if that feels nice. Find our Prasarita. Undulate here again. So as we inhale, we lengthen through the back. As we exhale, fold forwards. 2 more times. Inhale to find that length. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come down. And then we either walk those hands in, so wrists coming in line with the heel of the foot, or we walk fingertips forward, stay on those fingertips, allow head, neck to release. Let go of any tension. Few breaths here, keeping soft knees. And then we start to walk those hands back to where they were. That left foot turns towards the front of the mat again, so we pivot towards the front, hands come round, we frame the foot, we're on the right back toes, left foot steps back, joining us in high plank. Option to go straight to a child's pose if you want, or come through that vinyasa, knees and chest, or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, tuck under toes, roll it back, downward facing dog. And from here, movement or stillness, your choice. So maybe you stay in the down dog, maybe you take those spinal rolls again, moving backwards and forwards, keeping that fluidity with the breath, or maybe you take a pause. So option to take that pause, drop the knees, come to child's pose. Again, the idea of making it a little bit more restorative. So take those hands nearer towards the head. Take elbows out to the sides. Find the space for the shoulders. Maybe there's not even complete stillness here. Maybe you've got a gentle rock, moving from side to side. If you're in that down dog, coming down to child's pose as well, taking a couple of breaths here. In your own time when you're ready, starting to lift the head. We're going to walk hands forwards, and again we're going to roll ourselves down onto the belly, and we're going to take a Sphinx. So we're going to walk hands forwards, taking elbows underneath shoulders, hands down to the mats, and take that gaze forwards. Maybe those feet come a little bit wider than hip distance, so you've got that space for the back. And just pausing for a couple of breaths here. Noticing how this feels through the back. And an option to pause here to stay in the Sphinx. Maybe you've got eyes open, maybe they decide to close, maybe you even drop that chin down to chest if that feels nice. Or you can take those hands slightly further out, so slightly wider than the mat and slightly further forwards. And on those fingertips, we push fingertips into the floor, hands are off. As we inhale, we're going to start to straighten through those arms. Lift the chest that little bit higher, take the gaze out in front. So option here from our cobra, as we exhale to start to roll back down. So those elbows go up towards the sky. As we inhale, we lift up. Arms don't have to straighten completely, they can stay slightly bent. Exhale, draw down. 3 more of these. Inhale, drawing up. Lifting, space for the heart, space for the chest. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, we draw up. Maybe that gaze even goes up towards the sky, you open through the throat. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, roll it down. And then everybody just releasing hands down, taking the head down onto the mats. Maybe you take the head to the side so the ear is down to the mat and just release for a second here. Maybe you take a wiggle through the hips, through the toes, through the ankles. And then we start gently. Maybe you start by turning the head to move back up. We're going to use our hands to help us. Coming back into that Sphinx. So we lift back up to where we were before. And we're going to take that left hand into center slightly. And draw that right foot up towards us. We're taking a bend through that right leg. Now, option if this feels nice to stay here. So we're keeping glutes engaged, keeping legs engaged, foot engaged. You can stay here, or you can lift up that right hand. Take the right hand back towards the foot. And use that hand to gently tug the leg in towards you. So just pausing here. Noticing how that feels through the quad. Just stretching out through the legs. When you're ready, slowly releasing. And then coming to the other side. So we take that left hand out again, right hand comes into center. Bend through that left knee, take the foot back. An option to just pause here, active variation, so we're turning everything on, switching on through the legs. Or maybe you take that left hand back towards you, left hand finds foot, and we gently draw towards us. Keeping that gaze forwards, gaze lifted, heart lifted. If you take that hand behind, just seeing if you can keep that leg switched on. So normally as soon as the hand hits the foot, we allow ourselves to flop. So just seeing if you can lift up, keeping everything engaged. One more inhale here, breathe in. Exhale, find that release gently. And then we're going to use the hands to start to lift us back up. And we're going to roll back, come into that kneeling position again. From here, option to come down onto the back if that feels nice. So to come down into our traditional position for our Shavasana. So releasing those legs out to the side, palms facing up. Or option here, if you've got a bolster, or maybe even if you don't have a bolster, option to finish in a child's pose. So narrow leg, wide leg, whichever feels good. Just taking that forehead down to the mats. If you've got a bolster, it can feel super nice to sit on top of that bolster. And then just maybe release the head onto a cushion or onto a block. Find that support. When you get here, when you get to that position that feels comfortable, closing down through those eyes again and just starting to come back to the breath. And asking yourself just for a second, if I could make myself that little bit more comfortable, what would I do? Maybe it's just grabbing a pillow, some support for the head. Maybe if you're on your backs, it's simply just lifting the shoulders back up and placing them back down. Maybe it's a small roll through the neck, through the head. So always throughout our periods of stillness, tell yourself that it's okay to welcome in that movement. So if the body is asking you to find those little bits of movement, those little wiggles, welcome them in. And in your own time, just draw that awareness back to the breath. That breath moving through the body. That prana, that energy that enables us to do our asana practice, so it facilitates our movement. And even here in our stillness, it's still working, still going. It's facilitating that breath. Maybe you can just feel the body gently rising and falling in time. And then check in. So is the breath feeling the same as it did at the start of practice? Maybe it's feeling different, maybe it's still feeling the same. So again, extending that welcome to the body exactly how it is in this moment. Few more breaths here. When you're ready, next inhale that you breathe in, imagining it moving through the body like a wave. And as it moves through, it eventually finds fingertips, finds toes. And as the breath reaches these parts of the body, start to find wiggles. Maybe you start to roll through the ankles, through the wrists. Maybe you find a stretch overhead. Anything that the body is calling for. And then in your own time, wherever you are, gently finding your way up to seated, keeping those eyes closed. So not worrying too much about where you end up. Just somewhere that's comfortable. Taking those hands, just one over the heart center and the other on top. Noticing that breath. When you're here, just a moment of gratitude. Firstly to yourselves for finding the time to come to the mat, finding the time to practice. And then secondly, for the amazing lineage of teachers that have come before us, spreading such a sacred practice. When you're ready, inhale, breathe in through the nose. Exhale, release out through the mouth, letting everything go. And then gently releasing hands, starting to flutter, open eyelids, coming back into the space, back into the room. Thank you everybody so much for practicing with me today. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, feel free to find me on Instagram, give me a tag on there, or give this a like and a comment. I love to know how much you guys are enjoying the practices. Also, I'm going to start filming a little bit more regularly, so if you guys have got suggestions for videos that you might want, feel free to pop those in the comments as well. And I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. Thank you.